Hello there. So my name is Prince, and in this video, I will be demonstrating how I set up a how I deploy a Ruby on Rails container on my Kubernetes cluster on my local machine, and how I also configure GitOps using ArgoCD and Tekton pipelines to automatically update the application and database on the Kubernetes cluster whenever I make a push to the GitHub repo. I also configured Grafana and Prometheus to enable me monitor the state of the cluster, such as its CPU utilization and memory usage. So first, I'll start by demonstrating the Ruby on Rails application. It's a simple web server which is connected to a Postgres database on the cluster that enables me to create a new book and manage books. So I can create a new book here. Okay. So let's name it one of my favorite books, The Eden Chronicles. Yeah, and create. Okay, the book has been created successfully. Now I'll create another book. Let's alright. New book. Let's my second favorite book is the of the Ring. So I was able to create two books, and the data is stored on the Postgres database running on the cluster. The Ruby on Rails application was deployed using to a pod using a deployment, while the Postgres database was deployed using a stateful set in order to preserve the data. And then let's move to GitHub. So using ArgoCD, I was able to implement GitOps, whereby whenever there's an update to the GitHub repository, it automatically updates the Ruby on Rails application on the cluster and the Postgres database. So this is an application then this is the application, the ArgoCD application. This is the Postgres service. This is the stateful set. This is the deployment, and this is the entire architecture. Okay. So it was synced about 2 hours ago. I also set up Tekton pipelines to um, clone the repository from GitHub and deploy it to the Docker Hub container registry. So let's take a look at the pipeline run. So about I think sometime yesterday I deployed it. So I published the application to Docker Hub. So this is the logs. So this way to clone the repo, and this step was responsible for deploying to Docker Hub. Yep. Now let's move on to monitoring with Grafana. So I took a step further to implement observability in the cluster. Basically, I just wanted to monitor the state of the pods, the cluster, the CPU usage, and the memory usage. So let's go to dashboard. Okay. So here's another dashboard. So here we get insights into the cluster, the memory usage, and okay, yeah, something like that. And can also see the number of pods deployed in the cluster. Something like this dashboard. Yep. And this is another dashboard on the same on Grafana. I created about two dashboards. So this number of nodes, I have one node which is my Minikube cluster. By the way, the Kubernetes cluster is running on Minikube on my local machine, and I have about 21 replicas. Yeah, so this just helps me look into just get insight about my cluster. And so the essence of this Grafana is basically, like I said, help me get insights about my cluster. So assuming I could implement alerting rules that said, okay, when the CPU usage is above, it was at 45% when we saw it. Look, like when it's above so percentage, send an alert to the software team or to the DevOps team, so they will know how to fix this, or so they know and to scale and add more resources. So that's the essence of monitoring Kubernetes clusters. So before your customer experienced any issues or any bugs, first of all, yeah, like it gets to your software team so they can resolve it. You understand? So that is the essence of implementing this monitoring in the cluster. While the essence of the GitOps with ArgoCD and Tekton, it enables like whenever I make an update to the repository, it automatically updates my cluster. For example, if I had like one instance of my book web app running and I maybe increase it to two, I upload I update the repository without me having to interact with the cluster. It automatically, replicates that the cluster, like increasing the number of the books, the instances of the book web app to about two. So that's the essence of the GitOps. And I will perform a little demonstration now. So in this demonstration, I will be deploying this to, I'll be updating the repository. So I'll get to the deployment file and increase the replicas to three. Three. Okay. I was able to make it update the repository. I to make a push. Now, within a few minutes, this would get the changes, and to sync it. So I hear the update will simply increases the replica set from 2 pods to 3 pods. So currently we have 2 pods. So this is the deployment. It will be increased to three after some time. All I got to do now is to sync it. Okay, sync from those. So see, I was able to sync it, and now that my pod instances have been increased to three, but it's still loading, still starting the container. Okay, so that's it. Demonstrating the GitOps with ArgoCD, and thanks for watching till this extent. I really appreciate it. Bye bye.